All right. It's the Eye of the Tiger, man. Are you feeling it?
Yeah.
The Eye of the Tiger? The thrill
Hell
of the
yeah.
wondering whether or not our internet will keep up for the entire stream?
Oh, baby.
That's the extra bit
Yeah.
of drama that you get with the life with Spectrum.
Well, I mean, that's I was talking about it with Andrew while we were doing Weird Things a couple of minutes ago, and I can only imagine the level of frustration that between you and Bryce, that it's like you've done all the hard part. Like, you've built the studio, you've staffed it, you've got the mics, you've got the boards, you've got the tech, you've got the vision, you've got the lights, and the magic cord acts up. All you need is for one thing, the magic cord to keep bringing and taking magic away, and the magic cord is being a fussy little shit bucket.
Yeah, you know what the hardest part is when you call. And by the way, people in the chat, let us know whether or not we need to goose Justin's audio or not, because it's harder for us to tell kind of what the levels are. But you call Spectrum, and I kid you not, their on-hold message is constantly repeating one sentiment. In these uncertain, crazy times, we know that nothing matters more than you getting your message out. And that's why you can absolutely rely upon us to reliably give you consistent connectivity so that you could do your job from home.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, is like this would not be any different if you were doing Zoom calls.
Well, and
right?
that's what I told him.
It's the same thing.
I said, this is the second week in a row we may have to cancel a meeting, and now we are afraid for our jobs, because if we cannot do our job from home during this shelter-in-place command, then we will lose our jobs. And then they're like, well, let me make a note of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the one good thing is that they have not even gotten close to doing that game they say in the past where they get a little coy and they're like, well, you are on the residential service. You know, we have a business class where like nobody is even playing with that. But it's like, look, man, quite literally, we have thousands of bosses and we have to do a video meeting every week. It's our Monday meeting. We had to cancel it, twice now.
No,
and
this is you are making it personal for them, but it could just as easily, instead of the micro example, be the macro example and be, you're our sat truck. We are broadcasting from a location that needs to get back to the network so they can put it on the air. You are screwing that up. That now can't happen because of you.
Yeah. And it's not even like we're asking for much outside of just a pinky promise of an hour of a Skype quality level. Just one, maybe 2 megabits of the 40 that you're advertising. That not only that, but that you promise.
I also think, and I feel like this would be the week that the first story about this would kind of come out, because I'm almost positive that AT&T, or it's not AT&T, Comcast here is throttling the upload from during business hours, like from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, are like, count your watch by it 13 upload magically becomes 2 to 3.
It really is, which is really unfortunate, because every morning it's like, well, how's the weather today? And guess what? The weather's always sunny in the morning, never sunny at the time that we're supposed to do our thing.
But I mean, it's fine now. So hopefully we'll be able to either get to the end of this hour or by the way, talk to Spectrum.
Let's put it this way: if you have started this episode and if you look at the total runtime and it is not an hour long, that means one of two things happens: either everything shit the bed and we called it, in which case, gentlemen, it's been an honor to serve with you.
Yeah.
Or it means that their dispatcher called me in the middle of all this and that I'm going to run out the door while Justin tap dances, and then eventually we have to redo the router or some business.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, number one, let's not turn this into my least favorite part of the internet, which is tech support via chat room. Everything is being done to maximum efficiency. We will make through it. But this is the situation where we're at now. Hey, Brian, how was your weekend?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yesterday, we had a really good shoot with Josie. We did more of those Scam Nation episodes. We were able to get 4 of them done. There was this awesome moment that I was literally in the middle of saying, "Don't tell your mom," as I taught Josie how to put a match out on her tongue. And Bonnie happens to walk into the soundstage. It was pretty good. I watched watching that Westworld. That rattlesnake. I don't know what that show is. I don't know
why you keep talking to me about it, because my point is that it's a bunch of silly people doing silly things.
Has it occurred to you that that's exactly why I keep talking to you about it? Because you will steadfastly and consistently maintain your same position, whereas other people, including articles on the internet, are they're like, well, I mean, if you really think about it, it's kind of like, at least they.
Has there ever been a show that has had more steadfast, you're not thinking about it right fan base?
Well, I mean, outside of the trope of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. But even then, Rick and Morty's like, you can not find it funny because comedy's subjective, and you can therefore not give it. I mean, there's a million reasons why you could not like it. Very rarely is there the argument of like, oh, I watched all of it and I don't like it, and it's like, oh, you just don't get it. Although I guess that is the trope, right? But that is the idea highlighted to absurdity. Whereas like with Westworld, people are, I guess, just there for the puzzle box, and they don't give a shit what is around it as long as there's some mysterious thing that they don't know.
Yeah, but I've never run into like the hardcore "you just don't get it, man" Westworld people. Like the defensively. You saw that with Lost. You definitely see it with Rick and Morty. You see it with some other tastes where it's like, no. Think about it this way. That's why you're just not enjoying it right. I don't think I know anybody who's been that way with Lost.
Maybe
with Westworld.
Westworld.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more of an internet thing. Like maybe it is just because I would agree with you. I don't know if I've met anybody that has then told me Westworld the best, right?
Now,
like,
having
it's just
said that,
so dense.
This is the weirdest part.
But there are like the Westworld Reddit popping. Everybody's there talking about breaking down all the clues. They love the clues.
It's so weird to be watching this season and loving every individual piece. I love the set design. I love the aesthetics of the future world. I love the music is freaking dope and awesome. I haven't seen one action scene that was anything less than brilliantly executed. I'm like, shouldn't I care about these characters? I've spent time with them. Shouldn't I care about
3 seasons? 3 seasons worth of time that has been spent with these characters.
I mean, I really should care. Well, I'll save the rest of it for a spoiler in time. But it's very weird to know for a fact that you really like all of the pieces of a thing and not understand why you don't like the thing. There was another thing that I wanted to bring up. Doggone it. You've been watching any Queeby? You've been checking out the Queebs? What's the latest on Queeby news?
I wait until Bryce, the Bryce in the coal mine, whistles his sweet song for me to activate a free 90-day trial of Queeby.
Okay, here we go. Here is the first top headline in Queeby Watch. Queeby is every targeted ad I see, and no one I know is watching it. That's from Forbes. Queeby, how the latest streaming service came out of nowhere.
Oh my God.
The Queeby app launch. Best or worst timing? That's an older one. Oh my God.
I mean, look, there's no denying that this is a total failure. It's already out of the top 5 in terms of streaming service stuff a week after it's available with a 90-day free thing. Even if you're not on T-Mobile, there's like a grace period there. So like, yeah, dude, this is just a bad look.
I got something.
Go.
That Hearthstone deck I sent you. You're back on the lads? You're beating the lads?
Well, I've always been on the ladder. I just haven't really been paying much attention. Like basically I'll play Hearthstone games while I'm cooking food or while I'm pooping. It's all pretty much either coming in or going out.
A good 8-10 hours a day, just grinding on them lads.
But I'll mostly 99.9% of my Hearthstone games are on the phone. So I don't really take a lot of the strategy seriously. So basically I had gotten to Diamond's the top?
Diamond is the topmost ladder. That's right.
Yeah. So I was at Platinum. I was effectively halfway through the meta ladder before you then get to Legend, right? Where you are now in heaven.
Right.
And so I just was kind of farting around with a couple decks. Then you gave me that deck. And I think I actually found out that I had played that deck before. I just was not at the right time. I was wearing the wrong suit for the wrong occasion because now
you had the most baller pimp costume at the most black tie ball.
Yeah. And so now between some of the other decks that are getting play, yes, this Dragon Hunter deck indeed is the tits and is very easy to play on mobile, which is mostly what I like because it is about. It's not necessarily an aggro deck, but you often play it fairly aggressively when you are keeping the heat on slower decks.
It is. It's like it's not fully aggro, but it's like everything is deflection and then a pop to the eyeball, like also that, and it's like now that.
Yeah. So no, I went the entire Platinum ladder. I was 10 on Platinum. And then I went up to my roof to finish the latest Crystal script, and I did not touch my laptop because I didn't lose for an hour and a half.
Yes, because you know the rules.
Ripped through.
Once you're winning, you can't stop. You're not allowed to.
Yeah, now when you're winning like that. So yeah, no, that was super fun. Hey Brian, you want to do some entertainment news?
Yeah, before we do, I got some entertainment news for you. I know you don't care. I'm sorry. That makes it sound. Sorry. I suspect that you are not big on the Star Trek Picard, and I suspect that you've not been overly interested in the Red Letter Media folks' response to Picard. But if you haven't been watching their review, they did the first 3 episodes, then they did the second 3 episodes. And then they made all their predictions about how much they were going to hate the last 2 parts of it.
Yeah.
And I kept waiting. I was like, ooh, tasty. So many of these projections, so many ideas. They hate it so much. I can't wait for that tasty schadenfreude of watching them go nuts and lose their mind. There's not a review episode about the last couple of episodes of Picard. They didn't do
Really?
They didn't do a review of it. And
Is
then,
this like a controversy?
No. They were just quiet for a long time. And then they dropped a little something that said Picard trailer. And it was just a bunch of clips. In fact, I wonder if I can... Let's do this. I'm sure they won't mind if we promote their stuff. Yeah, there we go. Here, well... yeah, here we go. Teaser trailer for Picard, which is weird. Like, why would they have that?
I never really cared for science fiction. I just didn't get it. Unmitigated disaster.
The Jazel?
Unmitigated disaster. Unmitigated disaster. Unmitigated disaster.
Shut the fuck up.
What's brown and sticky?
Burnt tomato.
This isn't right. did everything I could.
It's better and better.
It appears you thought you were playing when you were being played, Admiral.
I don't yet fully understand all of it. Please explain. What the hell are you talking about? Just help me understand what is happening. You may be right.
Do you know how?
No. It makes total sense that you're angry. I disappointed you.
Pause music. I believe the phrase is an acquired taste.
Shut the fuck up.
There it is. They're going full Plinkett review. That's why there was no last part to the Red Letter Media response to it. So all of a sudden, I'm just like, ooh, that sounds tasty.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be great. Hey, you want to know what you won't be doing this summer, Brian?
Signing up for a second Spectrum Internet account.
You won't be seeing Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi has now officially canceled his tour instead of postponing it. But he had a specific kind of quote about it. He wanted to let his fans know that in these difficult times, we've made the decision to cancel our tour entirely. This will enable ticket holders to get refunds to help pay their bills or buy groceries.
Okay. I could have gone without an explanation of what a refund is useful for. A little bit patronizing on there. Like, aren't we great?
I mean, look, Johnny used to work on the dock, and now he can't because of the COVID.
Oh man, oh no, people are saying that we're shitting the bed. Where you like, girl? Bonnie Brushwood joining us just in time. I was tattling about how I was teaching fire stuff to Miss Josie right when you walked in.
Yeah, shame on you. I don't have any makeup on, so maybe I don't want to.
Well, that's fine. You can be the
seen.
invisible wife. You do have a badass hat though.
I do have a badass hat.
Here, look at this hat. Boom. Come on.
Oh, that's a crazy hat.
Thank you.
That's a good look. That's a whole outfit.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So
Look how shiny. I'm all scrubbed with no makeup, so I'm all shiny.
Oh no, it's good. You look important. Like you look like an executive. Like you work at a magazine or something.
Well, you know, us tastemakers need to have a certain look.
No, I'm just saying you're wearing this pandemic well.
Well, thank you.
Meryl Barr
no
wants
problem.
to know if the toilet seat's been replaced yet.
No, that's first up when and if everything settles down. So.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things. I've gone around and I've been fixing and looking at things and doing all the cleaning and stuff, and then seeing that yellow toilet, I was like, boy, this has gone long unaddressed. So,
Well, here you got here just in time because we
Yes?
just found out that Bon Jovi is canceling his tour,
Yes.
and then explained that we're doing it so that you could get a refund. And then they explained that they're doing that so that you could spend that money on important stuff like groceries.
Oh, does he?
And then he explained that groceries are important because you need energy in your tum-tum. Otherwise,
didn't
you
say
won't
that.
you will get
He
crappy
did.
and need a nap.
No, look, I'm reading the article right now here, Bonnie. You need food, aka groceries, for your tum tum, so it makes you go. Big boys grow big and strong thanks to groceries, said
That's a
Bon
good point.
Jovi.
Eat your poi.
And then actually here on the press release it says, hold on, let me get a whiteboard. And he's explaining the way proteins are broken down and later become muscle tissue.
Oh, that must be very important to Bon Jovi. Now, here's the thing is that the arts are important too, now more than ever. I'm not sure ring, what do you call it when you have like the huge...
Ring of trust.
Yeah, the Ring of Fire, the
Johnny Cash.
Arena is one.
Oh,
Arena
yeah.
performances
Arena,
are probably
yeah.
wise,
Yeah.
but
Man, I'll tell you what though, I'm starting to think that the Nutty Brown Cafe right over in our local area is haunted. I think because remember, Huey Lewis in the News was going to play. We're all excited. We're going to go see Huey Lewis in the News. Dude goes deaf. Last concert effort, never even has it. He can't like the show that he never got to do. Joan Jett supposed to play. Coronavirus hits.
Wow.
I'm really sad. I was totally going to go to that.
However, you know who's unstoppable and definitely melted faces around our neighborhood?
Yeah.
Ice Cube. Ice Cube made it out.
Oh, yes. And
wait, when did he play?
Like 20 minutes, probably 20 minutes after everyone was supposed to stop doing concerts.
Yes.
Really? Wait. At
Nutty Brown,
at Nutty Brown. Oh my God. Oh, dude. That's an awesome concert.
I want to see if I can get. Let me see if I can find it.
Not by Callie's standards, because she was hearing strains of it, and she was like going, what is that horrible sound? Why is that happening? Make it stop. That's music?
Oh my God. You should have recorded her and then put her on blast on the internet for being racist.
This is, here is, wow, it was just over a month ago. It was March 7th. Let's see, it says, there we go. I wish I'd gone to that. That would have been great.
Oh my God, no! Ice Cube's got hits.
No, I saw him. I saw him at Lollapalooza in 1992. It was, I was totally unfamiliar with all of his stuff, and I was just had my brain melted. It was great.
I gotta say, I have forgotten pretty much everything from the 80s except maybe Billy Joel. But
oh no, we got that far. We flew too close to the BJ hole.
I know.
Yeah.
No, but like I had these like song. I was trying to play it for Kelly, and I can't. I'm ashamed. I can't remember. Remember those kids that were cool rappers, and they go jump, jump.
Oh my gosh! First of all, I was gonna make a Kids Bop joke, but that's even better. You're talking about Criss Cross. How could you not remember Criss Cross?
Oh,
yeah, the
God.
Mac Daddy and the Daddy Mac.
That's right.
No, they were dwarves.
They wore pants backwards.
They did, yeah.
Man.
They missed the bus, and they'll never, ever, ever do it again.
So there was Criss Cross, and then there was, oh man, I don't know. There's so much music I was trying to access, and that whole library has been scrubbed from my brain.
You were thinking early '90s rap. That's where you were at. You were in like maybe Naughty by Nature. Or...
You should expose her to the Ghetto Boys. That'd be
you should play the Ghetto Boys. Lead in.
It feels
with
good
that.
to be man. What I would give for a Kids Bop version of a Ghetto Boys song.
Oh, I wish I could remember who tweeted this, but I thought this was an amazing concept. Is somebody on my feed or got retweeted saying. Okay, so we have Kids Bop for all this popular music, but what if we Kids Bopped popular movies? And so you have like your Pulp Fiction Kids Bop, or your
my God.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Like shot for shot remakes, only it's about where's my milkshake? It's like oh man.
I mean, basically that was Looney Tunes, right? Like Looney Tunes or Tiny Toons in my era. Like that was certainly like they would just take wholesale plots and literally do exactly that. And except then it was like subversive because it wasn't labeled as that.
A little, yeah. And I guess there was a little bit of a, they would make sure to wink often enough that they could get away with calling it comedy or whatever. But then later, like I remember around the Samurai Jack days was the first time that I'm like some genius figured out that if they're robots, they're not dying. And if it's black, then it's oil and not blood. We could do some straight up samurai wholesale slaughter of all the armies of people.
Yeah.
Was there anything comparable to that before then? With that's where I early 2000s first really noticed that. And I know that there's actual anime with actual blood.
Ultra-violent cartoons?
But no. Ultra-violent cartoons with the disguise of a little wink, nobody died.
I mean, I guess,
yeah, with G.I. Joe and the parachutes.
Yeah. Well, G.I. Joe did it with everything was clearly blowing up. You always just saw a little bit of a parachute in the back. Don't worry, that's fine.
Yeah, because it was all lasers, and so they would laser shoot somebody, and then they would just lay down. So it's like it wasn't like the horrors of war, but they were still shooting a lot. Anything with aliens, really, because that's the other thing is that robots and aliens are the way that you can just like, rip somebody apart and have it be green or black and not have it be like, oh, this reminds me of Grandpa.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I had to use green blood for the psychic surgery when I was in Indonesia.
Did you really?
Yeah,
I
and
didn't
just
remember
never
that.
acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Because you weren't allowed to.
It's
There was a moment I'm backstage, and the reason they're having me use green blood is because it is a literal crime to have red blood depicted. Like it is as an Islamic country, it is a crime. And then I'm sitting there backstage, and I'm like, only I know how much green I'm adding to this blood. And
You
only I
tempted
know.
to break the
I
law?
was. I mean, I was tempted to have a mistake and have it look really good. But then I thought how angry you would be, and I didn't do it.
I would be really disappointed.
I'm disappointed. I'm not mad, Brian. I'm just fucking
Just
furious. You're an international incident now. God damn it.
We have to extradite you.
They're like, for a public statement, we go to Brian like, hey, man, it's not that big deal. I don't even believe in your fake God. Then it was like, ah. Turkey money. That's right. That was your fault. We got in trouble with that.
Oh yeah, that turkey money.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Brian, because we can do it tomorrow or we can see if he's available to come on now. But we had the bet with Merrill Barr over the weekend on him not being able to make it past episode 3 of Tiger King. Spoiler alert. We already have the results. He barreled through Tiger King within like hours of starting the first episode.
I think if he's watching now, I think we have a let's be some Icarus looking motherfuckers. I think we sent him an audio gateway to just jump in. So if you're receiving, ground control to Merrill Barr, ground control to Merrill Barr.
I see this as a sneaky way to work in the TK into your
Well, no, because
conversation
Merrill
here.
had planned to come on and then hit me up before we were about to go live, and it's like, hey, who's ready for Tiger King talk? And I'm like, literally, I was just off the phone with Brian about how it's gonna be a miracle if this thing even starts. So like, let's hold off for a little bit, and if it's actually holding up, then we'll do it. Otherwise, we can figure it out tomorrow. But let's.
Here we go. He's calling in on Skype.
Go.
We'll see. Ooh. I will try merging calls. We'll see.
Yeah, which is funny because I DM'd him telling him to come in via Opal like he asked me to.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if he's.
Apparently, Mr. Merrill's too good for instructions.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm picturing
What
you
is
dressed
Opal
as Snape
anyways?
saying that.
It's like a box, mystery box.
What's that?
Yeah, that's the
Opal?
Yeah, basically, it just no matter what separates out a channel just for us to talk to each other.
Okay.
So that ensures that it's not going to get screwed up when it tries to balance for other stuff.
And you know what? I wonder if he's expecting to receive any audio from me on Skype, not realizing that we only use Skype for video.
Yeah.
So that means it'll probably be like super delayed.
No, oh my God. And he's like, I don't have Opal.
You don't need, that's the whole point, is it's a magic box.
A web link.
At first, I was thinking it was
he sent it.
I didn't send it.
Opal.
Wait,
but I was
did you not
confusing
send it?
Well, it's not my job to say. I don't know whether or not. I don't know what he and Bryce talk about. I ain't no snooping Nelly.
All right, we'll do it tomorrow.
All right, now I don't know how to hang up just on one of you. Whatever.
Would it be the same link that I have?
No, because you're on different channels. There's different channels. I could send a link, but now we're on a real high wire act of like, do I want to give? Because like if it gets out, then we have to totally change everything for
Gotcha.
this.
All
Here,
right. Well,
hold
now
on.
Meryl's here, and yeah.
Here, Meryl Barr, I'm going to send an email. I guess I can't even do that. What? Because now I'm logged in under... Welcome to tech support via chat room. Justin's favorite activity.
Yeah, we can't do it, Meryl. We'll do it tomorrow. Yeah.
Hold on. There. I'm taking a risk here. Try clicking on that thing. See what happens. If you can, appear audio only. That'd be great. Otherwise, spoiler alert, Carol Baskins did it.
Yeah, there we go.
Wait, so you guys watched that final episode, right?
Yeah, I did. Did you ever watch that, Justin, the follow-up?
No, the interview one? No.
Yeah.
For costing $0 and being made literally entirely on iPhones,
Oh.
it was better than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll get to it. It's just not high priority right now. We finished Doctor Who.
Oh,
Yeah.
now when you say finish Doctor Who, is that code for you're done with it, or does that mean you've completed it?
No, it's the thing that I'll just keep watching because Ashley and I like an element of it. Maybe we just keep hoping that it'll be better. But
When's the last
There were
time you really loved that show?
there were actually that's the problem is that every like other season there'll be things that are like really cool or different, and they just change showrunners, and so that was like a big. All right, give us another shot. When the last showrunner had really run his course. So now here's a new one. He'll do good. And there were like really promising elements. And then this time, like, oh boy. I mean, it was like I'm not one to be like, whatever, SJWs. Here's my hour and a half YouTube review of Captain Marvel. Like, that's not my
Yeah,
thing.
but when is that coming though? Because I'm really looking forward to that.
So what is a showrunner's job anyways? I don't really know how that's different than like how does it tie into the ecosystem?
There's actually a great the book, I think it was Difficult Men, which was all about the 90s boom of like Mad Men and Sopranos and everything. And that's where like showrunners kind of became that, like that used to just be like a management position that it's like, all right, well, he's the guy that makes sure the writers get their stuff done, that hires the directors and just like kind of make sure that things go along. But the new era of showrunners sort of became like the God King writer auteur people.
So
now
you might have a show that was not written by like take Community, right?
Okay.
Famously was showrun by Dan Harmon. You could smell Dan Harmon all over it, right?
It was showrun by him? I thought it was written.
Well, sometimes, but
See, there we go.
sometimes it wasn't necessarily the director of every episode, wasn't necessarily the writer of every episode, wasn't necessarily even on set or sober for many episodes. But ultimately he had final say on every single aspect of everything. Because the director, once the director's done directing, the director kind of hands over and the editors really take over. I guess the director still has a voice, but not as loud as the producer, who are the money men.
Well, and certainly not on television. Television, they're a little bit more kind of tradesmen than they would be on a movie, obviously, where a director is kind of the God King of everything. But a showrunner in the 90s became this bigger idea because not only were they the ones that technically had the final say, they were the people who were bringing the artistic vision. And so now that meant, more, because they were revered as these larger characters.
So they're finding the props and they're in charge of the look.
Well, really,
like when they're directing things.
Well, I mean, sometimes, but even then, the most common version of it are the writers. So they're like writers that wound up getting their own show, and now, like famously, the guy who showrun Mad Men, Matthew Weiner.
Oh,
like
no, really?
Oh yeah. Now he had a rule because there was like some like Emmy, some award thing that happened that he swore would never happen again, where somebody else got an Emmy on an episode that he had basically rewritten, but because of the Writers Guild, like he was like not gonna fight for it. And then at a certain point, he's like, if I on my computer rewrite over half your original word count, then I'm getting co-credit, because I am not going to like write an episode that wins an Emmy that I don't get an Emmy for ever again.
I mean,
but that's like
everybody that's participated on a group project at school or work can identify with that, because you're like, I did all the work.
Yeah. And so that's like, those are the examples of like, oh, the crazy auteur who like is staying up all night and pulling out his hair for his art. But it also breeds a lot of laziness and bad behavior. And so that was like what happened with Doctor Who, was he had a showrunner that had been there forever, that had spun off other stuff, that had already done Sherlock, and was clearly phoning it in with Doctor Who. And then eventually it's like, all right, he goes, and so maybe you're like, okay, a new showrunner, and the new showrunner's got to bring a new energy and rip up the old rules and put in new rules and bring in a new feel and a new writing style, and it kind of lasted.
So, how many episodes did you capital L like?
I mean, the problem is that there are good elements of almost all the episodes, but I can't recommend them. Like, I can't say, oh no, go watch that. Like, there's they did like one really good horror episode where it was like genuinely kind of creepy and scary, and it was about, you know, they were there the night that Mary Shelley had the idea for Frankenstein, and that was initially while they were there, and then they find out all this other crazy crap is happening. But it was a great Doctor Who mystery where it seems like a haunted house, and then you realize it has this science fiction like reason for it happening and blah blah blah. But then it was just like, it just all became like, oh, Mary Shelley's actually a really strong woman. And it's like, yeah, she's Mary Shelley. She's an icon in literature. Like, we all revere her. You were excited when you first heard that you were at her house because she stands as a titan. We don't need the moment where we demonstrate that Mary Shelley's cool. Like, we know she's cool. Just show her kind of doing stuff instead of like building the entire episode around her standing up in front of a Frankenstein-esque monster and being like, ah, I see humanity in you. I'm showing bravery. I'm Mary Shelley.
It's a bit like
right.
making the counterintuitive case that Lincoln was a great president who wasn't afraid to stand up for the freedom of the slaves.
Well, but that's the thing, is that it would be like if Doctor Who came to Lincoln and they like made a point to like have the episode revolve around like, Abe Lincoln loved those hats. Man, like he really loved them. Loved like, oh, here's this big moment where Abe Lincoln like gets his hat distended and he's like, I don't know, this looks kind of good.
Yeah, that's so bad.
Like, we just don't need it. It's useless. We already know it. It's not earned, and it doesn't tell us any more about the character.
Well, we were watching those, and I think Brian was still touring, and Penny and I were picking our way through. Don't ask me which season. I don't even know. But at some point I was like, well, these are pretty scary. And like, you know, the one that like scared the crap out of her was this one where these dolls, like you got miniaturized in like some dollhouse or I don't know. And then it was all over. So if I couldn't watch it, whoa, darn, with getting stuff on a computer.
So it was too scary?
Yes,
and
it was too scary. And then one of them was too scary for me. And I was like, I can't even watch these on my own. And this is supposed to be like Doctor Who, which you would think
it was originally developed as a kid's cereal. I mean, sorry, that makes it sound like you would eat it. I mean, a daily
like it's Lucky
serialized kids show, which is why there are so many
yellow
missing...
sonic screwdrivers, blue TARDISes.
All right,
it's a
so I
kid's
just
cereal.
threw a drink spill on your laptop. You want me to do anything with it?
You tell me. Does it look like anything needs to be done?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of wiped it off, but that enter key might be sticky. I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry. This is my Oops face.
Do we got any other entertainment news besides Bon Giovanni?
No, just
rewarding
Bon
the hoi
Giovanni.
polloi.
Yeah. No, he wants everybody to go out there and get some, bills
groceries.
paid and get some groceries. No, let me ask you this, Brian. So, the new pop culture documentary that's going to be talked about is this sports one, which I know is out of your general purview, but do you have any interest in The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan and 1997-98 Chicago Bulls doc?
I would almost certainly love it because basketball is, as I've often said, my interest in sports is directly proportional to, how many folks around me are into it. And early 90s, I lived in Houston, and that was when the Houston Rockets, who famously always were, terrible, they actually won, 2 back-to-back championships, I believe, right? So
6.
2
sets of 3, the Bulls. Oh, no, you're talking about the Rockets.
Right. Yeah.
The Rockets won back-to-back in between the Bulls winning 3.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So I was dialed in that era is what I'm saying. So I think I would enjoy it quite a bit. And also, what a surreal thing. I assume they're going to talk about him running off to play baseball and all that stuff.
I assume it gets there. The remarkable footage is that they recorded all this basically a season's worth behind the scene, with the agreement with Michael Jordan being, because he owned his own likeness, that they would never be able to do anything about it unless he signed off on it.
Wow.
And this was in 1997 and 1998. And so it has sat in like legendary status for 2 decades. And now he signed off on being able to make this documentary. And so that's what's starting to unspool now on ESPN over the next few weeks. But really, you don't really need to care about basketball. Like, because it's basically just, it could be about the Beatles or any other world famous.
Sure.
Nobody, you can't go anywhere. Everyone's trying to run you down kind of fame.
Is it already out? Is it started? Is it
2 episodes a week? The ESPN is going to milk the living crap out of this because they know that they have the new Tiger King on their hands and nobody's doing anything. So yeah, it is 2 episodes a week for the next 5 weeks.
Oh wow, yeah, no, that's going to dominate.
Starting last Sunday.
Dude, that's huge. I'm going to guess that it's not so much about the games of basketball they were playing.
No. It's much more about. I mean, it really is like it might as well be a band that has been together a long time and has succeeded for a long time, and now there are interests within and with the management above that is getting in the way. And there are a lot of hurt feelings, and Michael Jordan, apparently, it gets even worse as we get further into the documentary, is just a heinous bully. Like, he is like win first at all costs, which everybody kind of knew, but now you get to kind of see it, and you see these sort of elements of these, legendary sports characters that, if you have no idea about sports, they will just seem like larger than life cartoon characters.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited. So what would be the best way for me to watch it? I guess I'd have to get like an over-the-top service or...
I'll bet you it's probably streaming on ESPN. I bet you there's probably some web version that you can watch it.
Oh, you know what? Here, what's the name of it? Let me go to Just Watch.
The Last Dance.
The Last Dance.
It will be available all on Netflix. I think like ESPN has an exclusive in America for like 3 months, and then it was co-financed by Netflix, so Netflix will get the whole thing.
What? There's too many other things that are coming up, including The Last OG and
what?
Save the Last Dance.
Oh my goodness. Dancing. It's popular. Am I right?
The kids love it. It's called dancing.
Are your kids doing it?
They could be doing it right under your nose.
Oh. So we did break down and buy Just Dance for the house. And they wanted the newest one. So we were looking for Just Dance 2020. And I go, wait, it's not out yet because it's still 2020, kids. So
Why? What do you mean? Why? Normally the games come out like the year before the year number.
It does?
Yeah, like all the Madden games and stuff.
Usually,
it's like it's like sometimes a month and a year before. Like if it's Christmas.
I don't know. Anyways, that's the way I got to get the one that was actually there, which is 2019, and nobody gave me any crap about it. So we got 2019. And then now occasionally I get in there and they're all freaked out because like I always win. And they're just like, how can you with your awkward movements and your ridiculous grown up body that's all like, and I'm like, just got to know how to play the game.
Well, it's, hold on. So in other words, you lie. Like what is the secret that how does one play the
Okay,
game?
I guess we're on an adult
gaming channel
show thing or whatever. Well, the kids are all trying to do the kid movements, but I'm like, it's all about sex, baby, so you got to do the sexy movements. And so like if you swing your hips, then you're going to get them points. But meanwhile, the kids just like gyrate in this very atomic, like, those little toys that you get at Christmas where they're all like beads and you squish them and they kind of like herky jerky go like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones where you like you press the bottom of the stand and they like kind of like go limp.
Yeah,
and then, like,
that's how the kids move. And meanwhile, you got to get a little bit of a hip swing in there.
Yeah.
So
you
that's
gotta
the
make
secret.
make it real.
And I'm glad my kids don't do as well as I do.
All right, so Brian, it looks like right now either if you have any of the live services like Sling or Hulu or YouTube Live, then they might have like a on-demand there. Or if you want to be a real sneaky snake and get on your VPN and log into like UK Netflix.
I think what you meant to say is if I want to hop onto a plane and actually fly out to the UK, and while I'm out there, use the Netflix service that I've paid for here in the United States.
While I understand that is normally the euphemism we use, I do want to encourage people to not go to other COVID hot zones.
That's a good point.
Yes. It is streaming internationally on Netflix.
The whole thing already?
No, each 2 episodes, like 5 hours after they air East Coast US, they are available on international Netflix.
That's wild. Wow. Dude, well, I'm stoked about it. So you've already watched them, and is it Tiger King great?
The first two are good. It's not Tiger King because Tiger King was telling you about a thing you didn't know, right? Like you knew that there were people that owned big animals. You didn't know that they were all absolutely out of their minds, like brain parasite crazy. And that documentary did such a great job of just bringing you into a world you were not aware of.
Yeah.
This, you get far more of the like, oh, look at that 90s car. Look at like that like thing that I knew, but now we're seeing it from the inside out, which is fun. And also there's like the conflict is Michael Jordan and the rest of the team relentlessly fucking with their general manager who is seeking to break up the team, which is kind of the premise of the documentary.
Wait, why would you want to break up the team?
This is a good an answer better explained by the documentary, but there's just a lot of Michael Jordan just like aggressively like walking up to this guy and being like, "Hey Jerry, how you doing? Hey, you're still short and fat, right? Ha ha!" And just like walking away, like just being an out and out dickhead.
That's amazing. That's crazy.
So yeah, if you've ever wanted to see arguably probably the most famous person on the planet at that time just abusing a person who dares to call him a higher up on the corporate structure, then The Last Dance is for you.
Do you think that behavior changes much in the intervening years thanks to social media and all this stuff? Like, are people on better behavior now, or like I assume that comes from a place of sense of invulnerability.
Yeah, I think there is that particular relationship is kind of explained in the documentary as like an office conflict that has metastasized into something really ugly. But yeah, I think people probably think more about that now. They probably think more about what they're saying out loud, specifically in front of cameras, specifically in emails or in text messages, because you are only one screen grab away from having whatever you say or out there on the internet.
Did you see the new Mandalorian trailer?
I have not. No,
I haven't either. But people are telling us we have to take a look. People.
When is it?
You have something I want.
Matt.
You may think you have some idea of what you are in possession of, but you do not.
Chicken.
Are you ready for round 2? We need to talk. Things have gotten out of hand, and I can't clean up the mess for you. It's time for you to take control of your own destiny. You can't stay with me anymore. And I don't know how many times I've told you not to smoke in the Razor Crest.
What? That is not
Are you paying
real.
attention?
That's not real.
Don't even think about it.
My real father's are not.
All right. Blah, 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 blah. Hilarious prank joke.
I love that you were the one making the joke before. You were the one Mystery Science Theater houring the trailer before, and then you found that somebody else was making fun of the Mandalorian. You're like, boo!
Yeah, well,
this is not what I was promised.
Plus, also okay, you know what it reminds me of is when like that's the joke that Disney made with Baby Groot. Like this, there was in one of the Scary Movie crappy things, they did like, what if Wolverine retracted 2 of his claws so the middle one looked like it was a middle finger and he gave it like a middle finger, and it's like, idiots! That was in the first movie. That was a joke that the original source material did, and it's boo.
Aw. When are we getting another Mandalorian?
I don't.
Depends on when this.
I don't even know if I
over.
want it anymore.
Oh, no. That was not. That's
They're
not
good.
theirs, right? That's not the official one.
Brian, it's fine. You'll love the Mandalorian again.
Then I also just got that they released it on 420. Like that's the new April Fool's is make a weed joke.
Weed jokes, smoking hella weed.
Well.
All right. Well, hey, I think we made it almost to the end. You want to bank? You want to say bank the points while we're still ahead?
Hey guys, thank you so much for showing up for this Monday's happy hour. We miraculously threaded the stone needle,
drifted across that finish line. Who knows?
We're happy to do it.
There might be some internet. Boy, it feels so good to have the moral high ground, at least on every phone call, where it's like every phone call begins with, I understand you're just a cog in an evil machine, but people are dying and you have the chance to save them if you'll just escalate this call immediately to your highest level dispatch tech.
Do you say that?
But in so many words.
That's pretty amazing. I think I might jump too. If I was on the other end of that line, I'd be like, what?
All right, man. We will see you guys next happy hour. We love you.
Oh, by the way, Ashley just walked by the screen and said she loves your hat.
Oh,
yeah.